Hello and welcome to episode 50 of Youth Squad Prospects 4 with Morecambe, and it will be the series finale. It'll be post-com, hope you don't mind. Throughout the full season, we're going to do a full season review. First game that we play was the first in the Premier League. We drew 1-0 with Leicester. Straightforward encounter, not much to say. Had a goal apiece and a point apiece as well. Then we had some unfinished business with Tottenham from last season's 4-0 thrashing, and we were about to undo that. First off, Johannesson scored very early in the game, and in the second half we did the same. We came firing out of the locker room. Erskal gets us a second, and I did not expect this to go as well as it did. Johannesson picks up a volley from the Cortez cross, and that would be game over. Next up, Everton. They were worthy opponents. Great header in from that amazing cross. We find ourselves 2-0 down as well, with Pellegrini getting the second. But we fight back first with this first incredible reverse assist from Johannesson. He'll have many of those with Gallo. And the second, a spectacular bicycle kick deflected. Time for a McNeil save, and then I think it will be the winner. Gallo with a quick step over to the inside and slots it away for the win. Next up, Cardiff. Baker gets a goal after a defensive mistake, and we also get a second here. Dominic Baker, easy as you like, slots it away with the finesse for the second. Although there would be time for a consolation for Cardiff. The game ended 2-1. And next up we faced Chelsea, who had a fantastic region that they just picked up from Freiburg. Sebastian Catenacci, that's why I haven't found him. He's an 85 overall striker, and he scored with the first shots he had. First chance of the game, he put that away. And soon after, his counterpart, Italian counterpart, fired back with a tasty reply. Good save from McNeil, and then Chelsea would get the second. Another McNeil fantastic save. He's been superb throughout the series. And then in the 90th minute we draw the game to keep our unbeaten streak alive. Then I lost some footage, unfortunately, but here are the results. We won against Shakhtar, Leicester, Brighton, and we drew 0-0 to Arsenal and Inter in the Champions League. We won Liverpool, Club Brugge, Burnley and Crystal Palace in the league. We were about to face them in the in the Carabao Cup actually. The Fresno de Scalfi to start with a wonderful volley, and the second goal just after a quarter of an hour there. Gallo slots it easily away after the Cortez chip, and Johannesson would get in on the fun with a third goal. That would be a fantastic game. Next up we were headed towards the Molina, and again always rate Wolves because of their Portuguese revolution going on. This was a tough game. Baker equalises after their early goal, and just before half time as well, a very awkward goal. Cross comes in, it is deflected to Sepe, and he volleys it in. In the second half we killed the game with Michel Cheya's header. Then McNeil got off to get some saves himself, and we ended up the scoring at 4-1 with Gallo's 10th goal of the season, getting them double figures. Next up, Club Brugge. Very good matchup. Never thought they would put up such a good fight, but McNeil definitely had a few for his highlight reel. There they are. And yeah, that was pretty much it. It finished 0-0. We could not break down Club Brugge, and they had their chances. Fair play to them. And we were facing Bournemouth. As you can see, we were scoring left, right and centre. 31 goals already in the league. And that is to our main strikers up top. That is Michel Gallo and obviously Dominic Baker, who hits the post, but then Michel Cheya mops it up. And he would get a second as well. A fantastic acrobatic attempt after the ball being cleared into the air. Then time for some cock-ups in defence. This is what Male and McNeil had to put up for the whole series. I just cannot keep a clean sheet, unfortunately, to save my life. Michel Cheya would complete his hat-trick, and we'd win 3-1. Michel Gallo was already the top goal scorer in the league. We'll get much of that face action over there throughout the video. He gets us a goal in the second half against West Brom. We were facing Lance Watson, a former teammate of his. Then Michal Chea combines with Gallo to give him his second goal. Brilliant reverse ball. The reverse balls in this team are just impeccable. And of course, again, can't keep a clean sheet. This time a deflected shot ends up in the back of McNeil's nets. We face Manchester United next in the league at the Globe Arena. McNeil started off the game with a fantastic save. Then O'Byrne had this back and forth with the defence. He ended up getting the goal at the end of the first half. In the second half, Philip Ørsgaard's sledgehammer is finally accurate again. And again, unlucky not to keep a clean sheet. This time, Pogba actually makes a worldie of a strike and we bury the game with goals from Johannesson and Dominic Baker. Very good game of football. And we also had time for a fifth from Michal Chea, who's been on fire recently. 5-1 thrashing of Manchester United. Next up, we were headed towards Ellen Road. And we were staying the rest of the week because we would face them later on in the Premier League as well. Dominic Baker opened the score sheet with a fantastic goal. And then Dornbush headed Tello's cross really well into the far side. Another fantastic header from Leeds there to get a consolation. But we still get the 2-goal cushion back from Fanning. And the goal and the scoreboard would stop right there. Then the league game, more of that Gallo action from the top goal scorer in the league. He is Martin Tyler's puppet for life. Goals from Piaka and Roberts gave the two sides a goal each. And unfortunately, this part actually corrupted. But there it is. De Fresne gets the ball on the wing, slots in between the defender's legs. And all that Gallo has to do is put us back in the driving seat. Another great save from McNeil kept us winning the game. And we have to be thankful for that because we did keep it at 2-1. Again, another boredom Inter Milan game. They seem to just be so defensive minded. Same with Manchester City, really nothing to talk about. We beat Watford 5-1 in between the international break that I couldn't play, unfortunately. Thankfully, we did end up picking up the win. And Stoke next, we got a 1-0 smash and grab with Michal Chea. And next up in the league, Moreno's former side would visit us. And they got a fantastic kickoff glitch from Gallo. He made the most of that. But soon after, Portillo Soler, the winger, he's a regen. He'd get a goal back. And then an awkward goal by Johannesson manages to find its way into the back of the net. 2-1 to us. Fantastic save by McNeil. Once again, highlight him in between the sticks. Gallo gets a third. And that would be game over. Same shots, we were just clinical in front of goal. Especially with forwards like ours. It's very hard to waste chances. They are so good, to be honest, lads. Then a bad defensive mistake against Fulham leads to a goal. Then Gallo cuts the deficit just before half time. Gets us back on level terms. And finally, he would get us into that driving seat once again. It would finish 2-1. Nottingham Forest up next in the FA Cup. You always know that the FA Cup games are always going to be difficult. This time Malé in the net gets some shine until just then. Great finish and Nottingham Forest get the lead. Soon after, Azevedo, the hero of the FA Cup, ends up scoring in the last minute. How crazy is that? We'd get a replay in the FA Cup. And next up, Huddersfield in the Carabao Cup. Once again, Gallo ran right on these guys. Gallo-Johannesson partnership for life against these. De Fresne assists Johannesson this time, who has another goal. 3-0 before half time. This would really turn out to be a fun game. But then the kickoff glitch struck and we didn't shake. Gallo again with Johannesson. He would score the fourth goal. He completed his hat-trick. What a game for him. And what a night. He gets the match ball with 3 goals. Total attempts at 4. Not too bad of a ratio, especially for an attacking mid. He racks up the Comaneci rating. That is perfect. And then Leeds again in the league. The double fixtures are coming thick and fast. Leeds actually started off leading in this game, but soon after Suarez equalised for us with a spectacular volley, and we would get the second from him as well. 2-1, and a fantastic day at the office for Carlos Suarez. Next up, the replay against Nottingham Forest. Great save by McNeil and great block by Boban Teka. Then we ended up opening the score sheet. Nottingham Forest go down, but not out. They would equalise in the first half even. At the end of the first half, we ended up picking back the lead, and that's how it would finish. The second half was a boredom. And up against Manchester United, we were this time at the Old Trafford at the Theatre of Dreams. We scored just after 6 minutes from a fantastic volley. Cortez scored a second, past De Gea it went, and we were seemingly gonna have fun today. Again, Cortez, after some intricate play, gets a third, but Manchester United have to score one always. I mean, Ruben Neves, out of all people, ended up playing for Manchester United. If anyone had to be him to score, which I was not too pissed about. And the second leg in the Carabao Cup fixture was smooth as the first one. Goal by Johannesson. Portillo Soler would get the equaliser again. And this time we also go into the lead. Very similar ties, to be honest. Gallo gets a second. And soon after, McNeil had to pull off this amazing David De Gea-esque save with his feet. And we would finish the scoreline at 3-1. A nice little sweaty for Flores at the far post. And next up it would be Stoke. I missed the starting lineup for this one. I only realised halfway through it. There was the Stoke lineup. Feel free to pause the video at any point to go and check out more information in detail. And we ended up opening the score sheet once again. Wilson with another delicious cross to Tello. He slotted it home for the second. That was game, set and matched. Stoke weren't coming back from that. But we ended also picking up a third goal from Moreno. And 3-0 at the Britannia. It's not often that you hear that, that's for sure. And ahead up in our fixture list, it was Lance Watson's West Bromwich Albion. And nice little back and forth in the first 10 minutes. A goal each. Gallo gets his goal again. Then he brings out the fake Rabona and slots it away just before half time. And very awkward goal here. Gallo gets tackled and Michal Chea ends up picking up at the right place at the right time. Fantastic play by him. Gallo would get his 20th goal though in this game as well soon after. West Brom could not get past Malay in this game in the first half. In the second, only took a 6'7" mammoth header from Richards Everton, but Gallo would fire straight back and earn the match ball with 4 goals. Another amazing performance by him. The Comaneci rating for him this time. And Liverpool, a boredom 0-0 draw. Let's swiftly move past that. Areas once again. Brighton at the Globe Arena. Good save by McNeil to start things off. And Gallo once again combination. This time with the O'Byrne. Gets the first goal of the game. 22 minutes into it. Michal Chea on fire. Leaves it for Gallo, who would get a second. Very tidy finish in the side netting. Once again, a good assist. Johannesson shot is saved. Lands on Gallo, who picks up the hat-trick. And just before half-time, McNeil had a chance to keep the clean sheet, which he took. Great save there, and O'Byrne picked up a 4th. This time, going on a run, Gallo would get his 4th goal. I don't really think we've had a goal scorer that has scored 4 goals in 2 consecutive games in the calendar. 25th goal for Gallo. Very good performance once again. Out of 5 attempts again. 80% of his shots go in. Another Comaneci for the Bucks. We weren't we didn't really outplay Brighton. We were just better in front of goal, which was funny enough by the stats. Thought we were more dominant than that. Very good passing move there. Suarez in the game against Tottenham already fires in for the first goal, and Tello with a similar second. Suarez this time would pick up a penalty. I don't know how this wasn't even a booking. That was shocking refereeing, but Suarez made sure to bury the penalty for 3-0. Then 4-0 would came from Palmer. We'd get our revenge from Tottenham unless this amazing goal happened. But we would have the last laugh. Jordan Morris, the Ginger Ninja, with the cross in, and Alfonso Criado hits the woodwork, and Baker slots it in for the 5th. The 4-goal cushion was cut from the other game. Our revenge was set on Tottenham, especially smashing them 2 games in the league season. Next up, Bayern in the round of 16. We ended up with a sloppy play there after taking the lead, and Gallo would finish things off. Not in that first step, but in the second with the cross from Azevedo. And he would get an extra margin through Contreras. Great ball and finished the match. We outplayed them in every single category, but it was only 3-1, unfortunately. Thankfully, they were all away goals. Next up, Liverpool. It wasn't the boredom fest as it always is because of this amazing bicycle kick. The only good thing out of that game, Carlos Suarez. Once again, what a finish that was. Again, just highlighting how many goals we're ahead of everybody else. We just scoring for fun. And to show you how bicycle kicks are easy, just scored one there with Cortez. Didn't really celebrate it. Then Blahnik with a shot, and Tello mops it up again. 2-0 against the Gunners. And we were facing Leicester, who were the first team that we faced at the start of the season. We had to play with 10 men, but we eventually picked up the win again in the 90th minute through Dominic Bacon, no less. The big kangaroo up top does the business for us when Gallo is tired. I'm so thankful to have these 2 strikers. But at the same time, I'm kind of sad that I can't play them both because they're a bit wasted if they're not the sole striker. Again, we were headed into the Carabao Cup final as we were undefeated in this season, and Manchester City threatened that big time. Lucky break there for them, but we eventually equalised again in the 90th minute. So many clutch goals. I can't believe the amount of times that we got out of trouble in the dying stages of the game. The celebrations really show it. We were heading to penalties, and this was the time that I thought it would come, because you know how penalties are in this game. But thankfully I held on for the first one. Suarez slotted away. It was McNeil's time to shine. If anyone was getting us out of this, it was McNeil. Up steps Arzani. That goes into the left side, and McNeil dives to the right. Blahnik has to take this and does. 2-2 in the penalty shootout. Bernardo Silva steps up. If there's anyone I expected to score, it was Bernardo Silva, but it wasn't meant to be. I never look at the player phases to make sure I don't cheat. Piaka would bury his penalty next. And then the Regent Barbosa preserves the CDM. Good finish. Thought that would be a Bernardo Silva-esque penalty, but that's how the game goes. Contreras, the Arturo Vidal regen would bury his penalty to put pressure on City. Bolton steps up. I think he's a right winger. I'm not too sure. He would get his penalty. Very lucky there. McNeil should have saved it. It would have been game over. But who else to finish off this penalty shootout? Michel Gallo steps up and as always slots it into the back of the net. And that would be the Carabao Cup. The first trophy of them all in the cabinet. Actually not the first, because we had the pre-season too. But the first proper trophy. The first official trophy of the season. It's time for the Vuvuzela. There we go. The boys have made this trophy very prestigious indeed. It's not the first time that they've won it. They've won it back when we were in the championship. And amazing scenes. Always nice to win a trophy against Manchester City. And the captain of captains, Liam McNeil, the ultimate leader of this squad. The skipper is gonna lift the Carabao Cup. I'm not sure what it's called now. I think it's the EFL Cup in real life. Here we go. Morecambe are Carabao Cup winners. There we go. And there are the fans going wild in the stands. Eric and Gadwi brought so much joy to the Shrimps. And this is where the Shrimp life would truly begin. There they are celebrating with the travelling fans. Ooh, one final lift of the trophy. Some more fireworks. And of course, we gotta have this every time. The team photo. There they are. The champions, everybody. We had to move on, unfortunately. Next up, it would be the second leg against Bayern Munich. We had wrapped this up in the first leg with 3 away goals. We scored first in the Globe Arena, and McNeil pulled off some more amazing saves, and we ended up sealing the tie at 5-1. Nieto Herrera taps it in after the initial shot from Baker being blocked, and we move on to league affairs, to domestic affairs actually, in which I lost a bit of footage. The Gallo scored 2 goals, that was one of them, and then in the end we kind of crumbled. First, Watford pulled one back, and in the dying minutes the defence was just nowhere to be seen. There's the second goal, it finished 2-2. And next up, Crystal Palace. We started off with a bang. The Fresner scored for once, for a change, and McNeil there with a good save. And then in the second half he turned provider for the Martin Tyler Poppet of the season. It was 2-0, and at the start of the second half he scored a third with a bang average penalty that I don't know how the keeper couldn't keep out. Then McNeil showed off some more foot saves, and Crystal Palace eventually ended his clean sheet. His chances of a clean sheet. We got another penalty, and Gallo slotted it away. Eric and Gadwi having a good time in the bench, and that was his 30th goal for the league. 3 goals, he picks up the match ball. Fantastic performance once again. Racks up the Comaneci for the 3rd time in the season. Next up, Burnley. It was a very dull affair, but we ended up picking up the win with a Michal Chale late goal. It was definitely a very boring game. We did dominate. Next up, Catenaci's Chelsea. And we started off again with the lead. Good goal there by Gallo. And then quickly he would double the lead. And just a few minutes later, Carlos Suarez would make it 3-0. Then in the second half, Jason Wilson would slot in Dominic Baker for the 4th. And then, of course, as the CPU can't get enough of breaking clean sheets, there's one. And Catenacci and Von Moos pick up 2 goals. And then with the last kick of the game, they ended up getting a 3rd. But it finished right there. Time ran out on Chelsea as we were headed into the quarterfinal of the Champions League. Started off again very well. 2 goals, and the away leg couldn't have gone any better. 2 goals, 2-0 as we leave Germany. Then Everton started off with this massive free kick. Unlucky that he couldn't score. I'm so unlucky with the free kicks, by the way. I feel like more should be able to go in. Then a few saves from McNeil, and then just before half time, Gallo throws in a shot that is deflected and ends up in the back of the net. Then Everton would swiftly equalise mid-second half, and that's where it would finish. Then in the next game we had Wolfsburg, and we killed the tie in the first leg. We just couldn't really break them down in the second, but we managed to get one goal and get some joy for the home fans. And we started off this Huddersfield game, which was next, with a bang. Wilson and Wagwe with 2 early goals. And we moved on into the second half with that magnificent save once again. And Vladimir Escu, out of all people, decides to have a game and get a goal, which is very impressive. We ended up sealing the scoreline at 4-1 with Suarez and Claude Moritz's goals. And as you can see, one side of the fair there. Next up, Crystal Palace. There's Kata in the midfield. He is Matic's region, I think. Just before half time, Gallo puts us in the lead, and in the last minute, we seal our trip to Wembley with Johannessen's banger. Then the UCL semi-finals, I lost to Juventus' first goal, but there's the equaliser, and then this amazing through ball plays in Dominic Baker. He makes it 2-1, and then to seal the result, Moreno plays in Palma, and he just has to slip it past the keeper. I think it's Perrin for this occasion, and then they almost scored that from the kickoff glitch. How outrageous that would have been. Then Bournemouth already in May. Bear with me. Here's the Fresno, who would eventually score another goal in the league. Finally getting in on the action, and just before half time, Gallo gets the second, and from the kickoff glitch he would get the third with some skills to pay the bills as well. And another McNeil foot save. There it is. He's really turning it up in the last episode. And Cortez scored a bicycle kick to seal the result at 4-0. And in the second leg of the Champions League semi-finals, McNeil had to do most of the work, but he eventually crumbled mid-first half. We did pull one back with Dominic Baker, and also to keep our unbeaten streak alive. And we thought that was it with Emre Can's goal with the second. But 10 minutes from time, Gallo plays in Suarez. This is what I rate about Gallo. He has the vision to play it in. McNeil with another save, and we hold on to our unbeaten streak.
Well, like all his team, he knows that this could well be the day. If they win, they're champions.
And you heard it correctly. There it is, the table. 86 points. Manchester United have 2 games to play. We have 4, and they've already dropped points. We started off in the best way possible with a Gallo early goal, and Özgard slotting in 10 minutes later. He just couldn't ask for a better start. The pressure was really relieved after the second goal. And at the start of the second half, we decided to score another one. And then Gallo, I mean, what a player. He's just running riot. He gets a penalty, and he scores this awkward penalty, which was classed as an own goal. Very awkward indeed. It hits the post, and it hits the keeper, and then it bounces in. Bit lucky, but we've been unlucky in this series, so I guess I'll take it. There's the goal line technology, and that would be it. And I would have skipped the celebrations. What an idiot.
In the Emirates FA Cup season, it is the final, of course. 2 terrific teams about to go head-to-head. Stay with us. We'll have all the action for you here on EA TV, and it's live. Well, it's always ringed in red, the date for the final of this competition, the final of the Emirates FA Cup, watched all around the world, and it's our privilege to watch it too, Alan, isn't it?
It is, and always sends a shiver down the spine. It really does. It's the most famous cup competition in the world, and really looking forward to it.
Well, there are players here who stand out a bit. These two in particular, I think, today, Alan.
I love watching this pair play. They haven't disappointed this season. They've been the most threatening players for me, for both their teams.
This is the way they will start the game today.
Thank you for attending.
Here's the Chelsea lineup. We've gone with a 4-3-3 formation here for them. Is that the way you see it, Alan?
Yeah, I mean, it can be adjusted. It could almost be a 4-5-1 if they decide to come over all defensive, this team.
Final game in Morecambe will be the FA Cup final, but we started off in the worst way possible. Conte steals a bad pass and Havertz slots it in. For the lead, Chelsea was running right at the start, but just 10 minutes from the first half, Gallo gets one back, and after that, in the second half, the game was decided by a magnificent cross from Erskard. Gallo. What a magnificent final. Couldn't have asked more from my players. They're the fans, they're so happy. I've never seen such a dominant force. This is the shrimp life. Time for the Vuvuzela.
They've worked long and hard over the course of the last 9 months or so, and boy, they deserve it.
These are special moments for a
I
very
will leave you
successful
with
team.
the celebration.
Congratulations to them. Well, it is the most famous domestic club competition in the world, the oldest, still widely celebrated. And to go up to collect the FA Cup, Alan, you've done it.
Yeah, it's a magnificent feeling, and these players, I think defensively they owe those defenders a big pat on the back, because their success has been based on that.
The FA Cup winners. Well, they're going over to their supporters now. They're still together in the celebrations as they have been through the season.
Yeah, you do get the feeling with these boys, they are a proper unit. There's really good team spirit within that dressing room, which you need. At any successful club, these have certainly been that.
Well, you have to have the team photo. And they're getting ready for it now.
Yeah, one of those lovely scenes that you'll hang on the wall back at home.
Since I was running out of time yesterday, I decided to sim the last 3 Premier League matches. We managed to hold on to the unbeaten streak and finished the season with 94 points. Manchester United in second with 83, and the rest of the top 6 behind Manchester United was there, but they were well behind both of us. Now, enjoy live com Rodolfo for the Champions League final. We're one step away from youth squad prospects history, and I think it is time for a squad report. Here we go. Liam McNeil overall of 91. Alessandro Falco overall of 89, Yannick Mallet overall of 85, Boban Teka overall of 80, Ivan Mitrovic overall of 83, Morgan Lewis overall of 75, Borna Piaka overall of 82, Erwin Cunningham overall of 79, Diego Farago overall of 83, Michel Gallo overall of 88, Mactor Wagwe overall of 85, Jose Manuel Martinez Gil overall of 84, Luis Gustavo Morales Costa overall of 82, Babacar Dangbo overall of 74, Harvey Harris overall of 80, Will Harris overall of 86, Pablo Alfonso Criado overall of 85, Gary Contreras overall of 85, Domenico Sepe overall of 83, Lucas Rogerson overall of 80, Tibor Kitley overall of 76, Luke Dornbush overall of 84, Ronan Fanning overall of 78, Jason Wilson overall of 82, Hobart Blanek overall of 87, Theodor Vladimirescu overall of 82, Thomas O'Byrne overall of 77, Matty Kopp overall of 77 as well, Jordan Morris the Ginger Ninja overall of 85, Gonzalo Moreno overall of 86, Yami Raikkonen overall of 72, Nils Johannesson overall of 89, Tyler Clark overall of 78, Sean Baker overall of 79, Mikael Svensson overall of 81, Nicholas Wilson overall of 80, Liam Griffiths overall of 78 gone up by 1, Lino Cortez overall of 86 gone up by 2, Hikaru Mitsuya overall of 82, Deshivel Mihilchea overall of 85, John Flores overall of 80, Andres Palma overall of 85, Callum Townsend overall of 80, Dominic Baker overall of 83, Ludwig Tello overall of 83, Carlos Suarez overall of 90, Gabriele Ferrari overall of 75 gone up by 5, Unai Nieto Herrero overall of 85, Philip Erskad overall of 82, Hugo Azevedo overall of 81, the Scout Future Star Stefan de Fresna overall of 89, and finally Christophe Chevalier overall of 71.
The wait is over. There are few bigger days on the football calendar than Champions League final day. Fans are beginning to pour into the stadium and the tension is palpable. Stay tuned, we'll have all the action for you live here on EA TV. And now the night everyone in the football world has been longing for. Millions will be watching around the world. It is, of course, the biggest final in club football, the UEFA Champions League final. Welcome to the commentary box. Derek Ray here, joined by Lee Dixon. I certainly can't wait for this, Lee.
Well, I'm so excited for the players. We see them coming out there. Excited because of what they've got ahead of them. Are they nervous? Looking at them closely in the eyes. Nerves play a big part in games like this, Derek. I'm nervous for them. Who's going to be the hero?
Let's dissect the Real Madrid side. This particular setup is becoming more and more in favour.
Yes, Derek, one central striker, two wingers who will provide the width, very narrow three in midfield. Back four, the two full-backs will be expected to support, but also defend and help out the centre-backs.
Champions League royalty, Real Madrid. It's a fitting way to put it, and nobody has a better record in the European European Cup or Champions League than the all-conquering Merengues.
No, it's almost like there's one place up for grabs. Real Madrid will be in the final. Who they're going to play? So that's the case this year. They're in the final again, and I fully expect them to perform. Big players on a big stage, they normally do.
And I apologise in advance for any mistakes in this final and for my sore throat. That's why my voice sounds a little bit off. If you have already figured that one out, here we go. And we have history, that's for sure. Here we go, straight from the kickoff glitch. You know the start of games are very conducive. Cortez had a golden chance there. Wanted it too much, to be honest, there. And as I was saying, these two clubs have history between themselves. Last year we won Real Madrid, we beat them from pillar to post. Oh, what a ball, there we go, Stefan de Fresno, what a ball in. Dear me, this team is too good. I just saw Teka, what an assist by him, so glad he's getting finally involved on the attack. Just waiting patiently for him to run into position. Whips it in. The Fresno on the other side says, thank you very much. I'm going to slot this to the side netting on the volley. It's 1-0. And just after 13 minutes, we take the lead. Very well played. Here is Gallo. Has the space. So Byrne could get his goal here. And he will get his goal. It's 2-0. To Morecambe, and you just know Real Madrid finals in the Champions League are a thing of beauty on this channel. Thomas O'Byrne picks up, I think it's his first ever Champions League goal. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it's his first goal in the Champions League. That's what we want to see. Gallo lays it in for Johannesson, but the referee decides he's had enough for the first half. Both teams head into the locker rooms after the first 45 minutes. Two very unlikely goal scorers are giving us the lead. We always got to make the substitution of the series. Erskard is on for the Fresno at half time. Let's get into the second half. We've Mason Mount to Anzabe. Now leader chasing it. Cross at the front post, and Tammy Abraham's going to poke that in. It's a good volley actually. The cross was in. Don't know what went wrong there between the centre back and the goalkeeper. Lack of communication there, I guess. Had to deal better with the cross there. Cannot wait for FIFA 20. Still don't know if I'm going to make vids or not. I don't think so. At least don't count it. Don't count on me to produce videos for FIFA 20. I'm not sure yet. Oh, cross is in. And that is a penalty. Alright. I don't know what the referee saw just then, but I'm pretty sure that was not a penalty. Tammy Abraham's off as well. That's a shocking substitution. He's been Real Madrid's best player so far. So Mihal Che is on. And I'm also bringing on Baker. Mihal Che has been a revelation at the end of the series. We knew he would get to a good overall by the end, but I never knew he'd be this good. The man who earned it is going to take it. Michel Gallo steps up. The man, the myth, the legend for the Shrimps. Hits the post and it goes in. Perfectly placed penalty. Fantastic finish. Mihal Che, ball in. Cortez again on the volley. This time he didn't connect. And that is going to be it for the Champions League final. We win 3-1. Goals from the Fresno, O'Byrne and Gallo give us the most prestigious award in club football. I'm going to leave you with the celebrations, and I hope you have enjoyed this mammoth
Oh, you have to enjoy it.
episode. I'm gonna see you all next time, and until then, have a good one. Bye bye.
The presentation of the cup with the big.
Well, you just think how many games they've played this season as well. All that's in the past now. The game that's just happened was the most important one.
They're all poised. The Champions League winners in 2019. And you can feel the emotion. It's natural to reflect on this final, but so much hard work has gone into the entire campaign.
Did you honestly thought
Memories
I was gonna leave you without the Vuvuzela? James, get in.
Fantastic.
Way.
fire as well as
Now the chance for a photograph. My mum always told me to get on the front row.
She taught you well, Lee. There it is. The Champions League victors for 2019.